The padding on the top of this Fender Barstool sucks. I know in my original review on my short I said it wouldn't matter because I didn't plan on sitting on it for a long time, but I ended up using it for an acoustic gig and it was awful. But I have some foam laying around from when I did my acoustic panels, and I think I can throw that on top. I'm not a pro, but let's see if I can do it. All I have to do is remove these 4 Allen wrench bolts. They come out fairly easily. There is a black cover on the back side with just a few staples in there. We'll go ahead and remove those, and we'll take... Holy crap, look at all those staples. Whoever was building this chair obviously was paid per staple instead of per chair. Now, I don't have a staple remover or anything fancy because, yeah, just a musician. But I used a smaller flat-headed screwdriver so I could get underneath the staple, and then I used a larger one to prop it up a little bit more. One thing that I found useful, instead of doing one at a time, was I started going through and just propping them all up all the way around, and then I came back through with one of my big old tools that I use to work on stuff around the house, and it came out pretty easily, but like I said, there's a million of them. One thing I'd recommend getting if you're a musician, or even if you just like doing DIY projects, is one of these magnetic trays. I got it, I think it was like a 3-pack. I'll link one in the description below. They're really handy. I'm gonna throw all my bolts and all the staples in there so I don't end up stepping on them and I can throw them away easy. And then that way I don't lose my bolts. They're super handy. Wow, look how thin this padding is. That's not even a padding, that's a joke. I'm gonna use this as a template on my foam that I had from my acoustic panels, and I will use a Sharpie just to give it an outline. Now I'm gonna use this giant knife that I used for the last time cutting. It cut pretty well. I'm not gonna be able to do it smooth. And I don't do cosplay or anything, so I don't have one of those cool knives that heats up and just kind of melts through. Although I might consider getting one if I keep doing projects like this. It's not very smooth, but we'll see if it can smooth out inside. Now I just gotta put it inside the outer shell, which I'm assuming isn't real leather. It's probably some sort of vinyl. And I just have to stuff it in there, and there's some parts where I cut not great, but it looks pretty good. Now I gotta put the bat back on, and obviously it doesn't sit tight. So my workaround for this is to use some good old elbow grease, or in this case, knee grease. That sounds disgusting. But I'm gonna kneel on it and use my body weight to pull, and it's gonna be a lot like working with vinyl where you pull the corners and you pull it tight and you make sure there's no wrinkles in the side, and then you staple it down. Okay, now I'm kind of starting to understand why there are so many staples in this thing. The last thing you need to do is put on this black piece of fabric that'll cover up all the nastiness and the staples you did. Except for that one. Oh, come on, me. Here's the finished product. Obviously it doesn't line up perfect. Yeah, there's a little bit of bulge in there. Bulge. I think it looks really good, honestly. Even though it doesn't quite line up perfectly, it is going to be so much more comfortable, and there's so much more padding. I think it turned out really well considering I had no idea what I was doing, and I was kind of just shooting from the hip the entire time. I'll be able to use this way more in my acoustic gigs, and my butt will not hurt. Fender should actually be a little bit embarrassed because that was terrible. It was pretty much just a piece of plywood, and a lot of it was actually just cardboard, and it was real hard. Looks really good, but it was not very comfortable. Thanks for watching my video. Check out some more later. It's terrible. That's terrible, Logan.
Why? What he meant to say was...
Was what?
I forgot. Bye.
Check out my other videos.